So recently the developers have been looking into changing Object of Obsession and Decisive Strike. Here is a Decisive Strike change that the devs are planning on doing for the game. So basically what Decisive Strike does is it still lasts for 60 seconds, we get unhooked. You still have 60 seconds. If the killer downs you and picks you up, then you could stab the killer in the back and he gets stunned. Bada bing, bada boom, just like the original Decisive Strike itself. But there's a new thing that they added where if you touch a generator to repair, if you heal somebody, if you cleanse a totem, sabotage a hook, or unhook other survivors, you ultimately lose Decisive Strike. And personally, everyone I've seen that's been streaming all the survivors, they're like, oh my god, this is so bad. I'm freaking out. It's not that big of a change. It's not that bad. All it does is it makes it so that with Decisive Strike, you have to be, it's solely an anti-tunneling perk. You can't be progressing the objective. It basically makes it so that Decisive Strike is only used if the killer is trying to kill you. If you fall out the window, if you drop a pallet, you still have Decisive Strike, which is good. It's good. And what the devs were like is like, it's unfair that you can do both the objective and have this little safeguard, like a Decisive Strike. And I personally think that's a good thing. And it doesn't really change how the gameplay goes. People used to use Decisive Strike, and they used to let killers grab them off of generators. They used to run at the killer and be like, "Oh, I have Decisive Strike. Oh, you can't kill me." All this good stuff, or they'd just be progressing the objective, right? What that makes it survivors do is it makes them play smarter. You can still go into lockers to bait locker DS. You could, like I said, vault windows and drop pallets. But the thing is like with Decisive Strike, you can't pretend to play dumb, because you'll lose your Decisive Strike. Like you can't bait the killer into grabbing you off a generator or bait the killer of grabbing you off a totem. It forces people to play smarter. And in all honesty, everyone's freaking about this Decisive Strike change. I honestly think this is actually going to be better for people that play Survivor. You have less teammates who will be practically throwing the game sometimes because the killer refuses to pick someone up because they're being slugged because of Decisive Strike. This is all preparatory for the new MMR system that's coming. And I don't think Decisive Strike being changed is a bad change at all. I think it's actually really good. And the survivors really shouldn't be complaining about this change because it'll make their teammates play better as well. It's just going to make it so that you'll be less frustrated when you play Survivor because people will be not throwing the game as much to try to get their Decisive Strike to get off, you know? Yeah. So, personally, I think DS, it may have gotten it nerfed, but in turn of it getting nerfed, it makes survivors play better. And that's my personal opinion. But yeah, that's great. That's good for survivors. That's personally, I like going against good survivors who know what they're doing and don't play like kind of boosted. That's good for me. I personally like this change, and some people are freaking out and be like, "Oh my God, my baby is gonna die! Oh my God!" No, it's really good. Just trust me. Everything about this is really good. You can still go in the locker. You can still vault windows. You can still drop pallets. Fine, good, nice. It makes your teammates do more objectives and play smarter, rather than having to rely on DS as a crutch, right? To survive. So, we've shared our proposal for Object Obsession on yesterday's live stream. What are your thoughts about it? Note, this is just a concept, not confirmed to be coming to the game at all or anytime soon. So this is something they're thinking about doing to change Object Obsession into. So, a supernatural bond links you to the killer. Whenever your aura is revealed to the killer's aura becomes revealed to you. So basically, if barbecue and chili goes off, the survivor can see the killer can see survivor, and it's just aura exchange, right? If you're the obsession, your aura is revealed to the killer for 3 seconds. Once every 40 to 35 to 30 seconds. Your aura is revealed to the killer for 3 seconds. You can't just look to see wherever the killer is whenever you feel like it. You can see them at all times. That's great. That's great. It's just, you can't relay that information to Swifts. But this type of a change is kind of strong. It's still strong. It's not even nerfed completely. When the killer has barbecue and chili, you could say to your Swift, "Oh, the killer's barbecue and chili. Oh, the killer has I'm all ears. Oh, the killer has bitter murmur. Oh, the killer has blood warden." okay? When you're in the exit gate with a perk like Object Obsession, your Object Obsession will go off. And you'll immediately know when the killer has Blood Warden, when the door is open, when you go inside that gate. So, you may not be able to see the killer all the time, but it gives you the information of the precise perks that the killer has. And what I'm afraid of is that this might make Blood Warden a little bit redundant, especially in a Swift. Let's say the killer's running Blood Warden, you're in a 4-man Swift, someone opens up the door and they go to the exit gate and they're like, oh my god, the killer has Blood Warden, everyone leave, now, hurry. That sucks. Like the thing I'm just imagining is just 4 survivors with Object Obsession, and the killer hooks somebody with barbecue and chili, and it's just everyone knows the exact thing that the killer's doing all the time. It just feels kind of broken, because no matter what distance you are at, as long as an aura perk is in play, you will know exactly what the killer's doing. Like especially with I'm all ears. It's like this has become the perk to counter aura perks. I could see this perk greatly nerfing Huntress in a way, because all Huntresses rely heavily on aura perks. And let's say you go for snipes. If the survivor can always see where the killer is aiming, this is going to nerf perks like Bitter Murmur, Barbecue and Chili, all this stuff. This is actually going to be the perk that will make Huntress suffer, and it will be really bad. The effect is not as strong, but the information given is stronger than the previous Object Obsession. And the main difference between the new Object Obsession and this state in comparison to the old Object Obsession is that this Object Obsession tells you exactly what perks the killers are running. You could tell me, but yo, Coconut, this version of Object Obsession can only go off when an aura goes off. Yeah, that's right. But the issue with this Object Obsession is that it basically counters aura perks. And the most important information a killer can have is aura reading. When you take that away from killers, what are you going to force killers to do? You're going to force them to read crows. You're going to force killers to have to use intuition. Is that what the developers want? Like, by changing Object Obsession and having this, the one perk to counter all aura perks and tell you what aura perks a killer is running, it feels like this is too strong, and they need to make it so that there's a cooldown between when your aura is revealed to the killer. I feel like they should add a cooldown to the part where it says whenever your aura is revealed to the killer's aura becomes revealed to you, because you basically have what you have is basically the aura reading perk to counter all aura reading perks. They always know barbecue and chili. They always know every single time you hook someone 11 different times. They always see whenever you see someone on Nurse's Calling, Bitter Murmur. This is going to actually be absolutely destroying people who are learning Huntress. I will be able to deal with this, but newer Huntresses will actually be, oh my god. Same thing with Nurses, Hillbillies. It just takes the most important information that a killer can get, and it's basically saying that information you just have right now is less valuable because of this perk now. And then imagine a world where all 4 people are running it. It just sucks. It's just not, oof. I feel like they need to add a sort of cooldown for when the survivor can see the killer's aura. In this form, yeah, it's a little bit weaker in some ways to the old Object Obsession, but it's a little bit stronger in other ways because it tells you the exact perk. It can be seen for an unlimited range, so like Nurse's Calling, or I'm All Ears, or Blood Warden. And it can tell survivors when Blood Warden's coming, you know? And it's like, oh yeah, just everyone leave. He has Blood Warden. I know he has Blood Warden. Yeah, dip. That's an issue. It just gives way more external information than it should, in my opinion. And it's a little bit too much, you know? So, just me personally, it's weaker than the previous Object Obsession in some ways, but it's extremely strong in other ways, because it tells you the means and the tools that the killers have to win the game. I know this is a proposed change, but I feel like that this change in particular for Object Obsession needs a lot of hammering down and a lot of tinkering before it actually gets pushed to live. BHVR, please take this into consideration, This is really, really strong still. The DS change is pretty good, but this one, oh my god. I hope you guys enjoyed that little review of the new Decisive Strike with a possible Object Obsession changes. I've got really weird views on this stuff, I know, but I think Object Obsession, they shouldn't push this version yet. Okay, they need to do some hammering with it and make it a little bit better, right? But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this different type of video. It's a little bit something different from what I normally do, but I feel like it's necessary with these changes that are coming up. And yo, hope you guys enjoyed it.